This armor candy.
I should have sit down.
I do.
It's your abyss, isn't it? Everything just goes in your locker.
A lot of things go in my locker, yeah.
That's what it's for.
Come on, at the end of the day.
I just wrapped the paper in my locker. Look at it, just tubes of it. I think they're in the band locker. You don't have these? I think it's in the band locker. Like I brought them from my locker.
Do you like rabbits?
No, I was going to, but I just have to use it.
Okay. All right, y'all. We're gonna start. I want to wear this, but I guess I'm gonna. Willie, is this on?
Hey guys, good luck guys. No pressure.
Okay, let's not be weird. Don't be. All right. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Well, hi everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Mrs. Hawk. I'm the Fine Arts Department Chair, and we have this awesome panel of students in front of us today who's going to talk a little bit about just options for students who are currently at Carmel and even students who are coming to Carmel next year for how you can get involved in fine arts classes and in things that happen before and after school as well. So the first thing we're going to do is just go around. Remember to pass around the mic and talk into it. And we're going to say your name, what year you are, and what area you're representing, and then any other fine arts classes that you've taken if you want to list it off. Can we start with Audrey? Awesome.
All right, hi guys. My name's Audrey. I'm a junior and I'm representing choir. So within the choir department, I've been in cadence, liturgical, and Parkway. But then I've also been in marching band, concert band and wind ensemble, pit for the musical, and I'm in cast for street scenes this year.
That's a lot. Yeah. Moving on.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Tezo. I'm a senior here at Carmel. I'm here representing band today. I've been a part of marching band, wind ensemble, pit for street scenes, and I'm planning to be in pit for the musical as well.
Hi, my name is Grace Connerkey. I'm also a senior, and I'm representing string ensemble, and I've been a part of string ensemble all 4 years at Carmel.
Love it. That's awesome.
I'm Camille. I'm representing the theater department, and I did drama UCP as a freshman and drama honors last year and this year, and I've been in the fall play last year and this year and the musical last year, and now I'm on cast for street scenes.
I'm Marco Gonzalez. I'm a senior. I'm representing dance. I'm a part of Orchesis. I've done academic dance all 4 years of my Carmel career, and I'm in cast for street scenes.
Hi, I'm Tommy Harmon. I am representing the Stagecraft class. I have taken Stagecraft honors for 3 semesters and UCP for 1 semester. I've also taken yoga, graphic design, and 2 semesters of ceramics.
Hi, my name is Shaylee Bodo. I'm a senior this year, and I'm representing crew for the theater department. I've also been in ceramics, liturgical choir, treble choir. I'm currently in advanced choir, and I've also taken photography, so all the fun fine arts classes.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm a senior. I'm currently representing studio and visual art. I've been involved in visual art, I think, all 4 years at Carmel, and I've been involved in theater all 4 years, in cast, and 1 semester on crew. I've also been in cadence and Parkway Singers before, so.
Hi, I'm Faith Connerkey. I'm a freshman this year, and I'm representing graphic design and Harbinger. I've taken graphic design 1, art 2, Harbinger, and I'm currently in liturgical choir.
Wahoo! I love listening to the list of everything that you guys have been involved in, and it's so cool to see how many of you have branched out into lots of different areas. That's great. Okay, so first question, and anybody can answer, and you don't all have to answer every time. We can just play the first person to grab the mic. Just kidding. Just be careful. All right. So you already listed what you've all been a part of. Can anybody describe one fine arts class that really stood out to you and a highlight of that class?
So one fine arts class that really stuck out to me was advanced dance, and it's just such a fun class. We do a ton of choreography, a lot of combos. We go on a good amount of field trips, and one field trip in particular that really sticks out to me is the aerial field trip. And we go out to the city and we take an aerial class with a professional aerial dancer.
Can you describe like what that is for those of us who are like, what's aerial?
So aerial is it's the dance where you have the two silks from the ceiling hanging down, and you just learn safe ways to grab it, some moves on it, and yeah, it's just really fun.
That sounds amazing. Awesome. Anybody else, like a class that really stood out for you?
So freshman year, I took drama UCP, and that class stuck out to me a lot because it's kind of the start of my journey through fine arts. It got me really invested in everything, and because of that class, I've branched out since. And I think a highlight of it is just the connections you form with your classmates, because drama can be really personal between people sometimes. So that was how I made a lot of my friends, and it was just a really meaningful class to me.
I love that. Thank you.
I have two classes, but I'll just talk about one. The first one is Wind Ensemble Fall, and it's included with marching band. So basically, in the summer, we have band camp for 1 week where we learn fundamentals, and we start learning all the music that we're going to march to at the football games. And it's just a really great community. Everyone works together. Everyone's working hard every single practice. We go outside and we get to march the drills during school. And Mr. Barclay is just an overall really amazing teacher, and he always worries about our needs and like what we need to do to get better. So that's definitely something that stuck out to me.
Yeah, so aside from stagecraft, I'd say yoga was the class that stuck out to me the most. I just, it was my last period of the day, so it was really nice some days to just like end with yoga, like be all relaxed. And I don't know, that's probably one of my favorite classes that I've taken.
My favorite class that really stuck out to me was my freshman year. I took stagecraft. Sadly, with not you, I had S, but it's okay. I like S too. It was really fun because we got to learn all about the different tools we could possibly use and make lots of fun little projects. And you could take them home and like use them as decorations. I still have mine from freshman year that we bring out every year. So it's just a really fun class to learn a lot of new things that are actually useful in the world too with tools. So yeah.
Okay, so I think the choir class that has stood out the most to me would be liturgical choir, because that's like the one choir class that I feel like has the biggest direct impact on the Carmel community, because like once a month we're all singing at mass, and it's just always really cool because it's such a different experience to be up in the choir risers and you have such like a cool view of everything that's happening. I think my favorite moment from liturgical choir was probably last year. We got to go to the junior mass, and the place we sang at was so pretty. It was the seminary across the street, and it was just really fun to be able to sing with like all my friends at such a pretty church and a big choir loft. So that was probably my favorite.
So my kind of like top fine arts classes I've taken have been higher level art classes. So last year I was in open studio honors and mixed media honors, and this year I'm in AP studio art, and it's fun because you get some guidance from Miss Coppins about like prompting you, and a little less in AP, but it kind of like expands your idea of what art can be, and everyone in the class has like, since it's a higher level class, everyone has like significantly different styles that you're exposed to. And I've used for some like crazy materials like ash, and I've used a lot of newspaper and balloons. So lots of different fun stuff that you can play around with.
I took string ensemble freshman year, and coming into it, I was like really nervous. I didn't know if I wanted to even get involved in fine arts, but I had played violin all throughout like grade school and middle school, so I decided to take it. And I'd never really like played with other violinists or like cellists or viola players, so like it was definitely challenging at first, and I was really nervous. But honestly, it was like a lot of fun, and I realized that I enjoyed playing with other people a lot more than I enjoyed playing by myself, and just like being able to like make such complex music was really, really cool. And so yeah, I've taken string ensemble all 4 years, and I don't regret a moment of it. It was really great. So
I haven't taken many fine arts classes yet as a freshman.
It's okay.
But I think one of my favorites so far is probably graphic design 1. I've always been very creative and into fine arts, but I didn't really know where to start with like classes at Carmel, and I was really nervous. But the first one I took was graphic design because my sister's actually majoring in graphic design in college, and I thought it would be really fun. And I'm so glad I made that decision because it was such a great way to like introduce myself into the fine arts department. I got to know one of like my best friends in that class. I got to just meet a lot of new people, a lot of teachers, and I think I had the most fun selling my art at the fall art exposition. And it was just so much fun. It was a great experience, and I highly recommend that class. It's just a great way to introduce yourself and like start immersing yourself in the fine arts experience.
Okay, so this isn't exactly in this form, a question like that I sent you guys in advance, but if you wanted to advise someone who's a freshman, sophomore, or junior to what they could take in your area, like where would be a good place to start? If somebody's like, yeah, I still need to get my fine arts credit, and I want to do something, but I don't know what to do, like if you can stick to your area, that'd be great, but like what would you advise for them?
So a brand new class this year taught by the same teacher that does string ensemble is the beginning violin and viola class. I didn't take that because I knew how to play violin before coming to Carmel, but I have friends and siblings of friends who are currently taking that class, and they've never touched or picked up a violin or viola before the class. And so basically you just learn like all like how to hold the instrument, all the basics, everything like that. You learn how to read music, and then eventually you learn how to play with the other students in that class. And that feeds you, if you work on that skill, you can go and move up into string ensemble later on, so that like feeds you right into string ensemble, even if you've never touched a stringed instrument before high school. And so I definitely recommend that if you even have the slightest desire to just play violin or viola. So otherwise, you can start off string ensemble right away as a freshman if you have experience playing violin, viola, or cello. So like I said, I started a freshman, not the best player, and I've learned a lot, and I learned how to play with other people. So really, if you have not a ton of experience, you can still start in string ensemble.
And I have to say, like, the beginning violin and viola class, like, I love being in the fine arts wing and just, like, walking around and sort of, like, watching, like, art happen. And it's so cool, like, listening to those kids who, at the beginning of the year, like, didn't even know how to hold it properly. And now, like, they're playing tons of songs, and they get more and more complex. It's very cool. And that is totally open to, like, you don't have to know anything to be able to take that class, which is really cool. Other ideas? Other classes you would suggest?
So if you're like lost and you don't know like if you're like a great singer or like you're not really into dancing or anything like that, Stagecraft 1 is a really fun class. You learn the basics, so it's not like you're gonna be jumping into like the really hard stuff right away. So it eases you right in. And if you're like, especially guys, they're not like huge singers and dancers a lot. I mean, yeah, they should be. And if you want to do something, I guess, more on the other end, stagecraft with tools would be just so fun. So yeah.
So basically the intro level art classes are Intro to Art and Art 2 and Ceramics 1. So these classes, like, you don't need any experience to be in them. And if you do have experience, you can test into higher levels. And first you take intro to art, and then it's art 2, and then first ceramics 1 and then ceramics 2. But you could find a passion for drawing or painting, or even like drawing with markers or drawing with charcoal, or sculpting that you never knew you had. And some people are actually like, they walk in having never like thrown on the wheel, and then they're like really good at it suddenly. So I feel like a lot of people are a little scared to take an art class because they expect to go in and everyone knows what they're doing, but that's not the case, because you learn different techniques for drawing and painting, and you also learn different techniques for constructing in ceramics. So those like intro level classes are the base for you to take higher level classes when you get older. So
yeah, Shaylee already talked about Stagecraft 1, but for people who have like just taken Stagecraft 1, just, you know, thinking, oh, just to get the credit out of the way, I would highly recommend Stagecraft 2. I'd say it's a lot like Stagecraft 1, except the entire semester you were just building. You're not really focusing on like all of the learning aspects that you have to go through in Stagecraft 1. I think the class in general is just really good for people who, you know, work better with their hands. Like, I find myself better with my hands than, you know, writing on a piece of paper. So I just think that it's a great class. You know, if you want to do some hands-on work with some tools, then it can be really fun and beneficial.
So for the people that aren't really interested, or they think they're not really interested in like band, dance, or anything like that, I would recommend taking Mr. Barclay's History of Rock and Roll class. I have a lot of friends who took that who weren't really into fine arts, and they said it was a really interesting class for them. And just the way that you get to like listen to old music and take a class that's based off of something that you're interested in.
So some introduction or intro courses for dance are beginning dance and tap dance. I am currently a dance leader for beginner dance, so I'm a teaching assistant. So what we do in beginning dance is we learn how to listen to music, learning musicality, how to dance to music. We learn basic stretches, basic terminology, and it's just a fun class. We do fun combos, a lot of icebreakers at the beginning to get to know everybody, which is really fun. And tap dance is a newer course that's been introduced. I'm a tapper myself, but I'm unfortunately not in the tap class. But in tap, you learn basic terminology, basic moves for it. You get to perform at the dance showcase, honors dance showcase that the Fine Arts Wing puts on, and it's really fun. It's a small crowd. If you're not good with big crowds, it's a nice little close, tight-knit group that watches.
So I think for choir, there's kind of two routes you can take. The first is treble and men's, which is the entry-level choir class. I've never taken that, but it's really fun to watch some of my underclassmen friends start in treble and men's and then go on to take 3 or 4 classes in the choir department, which is possible. I've done it. But if you are worried about choir fitting into your school day, there's before school classes, and I would say probably the best one to start off with would be liturgical choir, just because the music isn't too hard and we learn a lot of it really quickly, so you get really good at trying to figure out harmonies and sight reading. I started off in Parkway Singers my freshman year, but I've also been in choir all of middle school and elementary school, so if you don't have a ton of experience singing, I would say treble and men's during the school day, and then liturgical choir is outside of the school day. You do have to do a quick audition to make sure you can sing a little bit, but if you're willing to do that, I would definitely recommend looking into those 2 classes.
I would also recommend liturgical choir. I was really nervous to join a choir this year because I've had choir experience and I've been known to be able to sing, but I've never really taken like a class. My old school didn't really offer it. And I was really nervous to like start delving into like the choir side of the fine arts. But liturgical choir has been so fun. Everyone's really welcoming. The music's beautiful. It's been just really fun to like start out with. And I've definitely considered maybe starting more choirs as like my freshman year has gone on. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's really like humbling to sing at Mass. It's a really great experience. And it's definitely a lot. I wouldn't say it's not very stressful. Like I'm a very stress-prone person, but it's been so easy to like fit it into my schedule, and it's just been really fun. And another thing I recommend would definitely be Harbinger. Currently we are looking for members, so if you are looking for like more techie, I guess you could say, fine arts, I'd recommend Harbinger. We on the first semester we usually pick out entries and art to feature in Harbinger. And then the second semester, we work on actually designing the, what would you call it? The magazine. And I was really nervous to try and learn the software to start making the magazine, but it was so easy. I think I learned how to use it in about 10 minutes. And it was just it's been so much fun to like start designing and featuring people's hard work. Like I said,
Explain like for maybe people who don't know, like can you just really quick explain like what the Harbinger is and like what goes into it, because there might be people that don't know.
of course. So Harbinger is a magazine that's published, I believe, after every school year, and it is a magazine made by students for students. And it features students' fine arts work, so usually more tactile stuff like art, and so for example like drawings, etc. And photography is another thing that's featured, and writing. So people submit poetry, short stories, etc. And students will build this magazine. And we have themes, etc. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share the theme yet this year.
Don't give it up. It's all right.
But it's really fun, and I was really nervous to join as well. But it's been a really good decision. We are looking for members, so.
2 questions. Is this something that you can still join this year?
Yes, we would really love members. We're currently working on building the magazine. We have all of our submissions picked out. And did you have another question?
Yeah, but now I forgot it. If I think of it again, I'll ask.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, when is it?
We meet every day on Wednesday afternoons, and we're very flexible when you have to leave. The latest we usually go is 4, but like if you have to leave for like 3:40 or whatever, we're completely fine with that.
And also, like Harbinger is an award-winning magazine, so it's like a really cool thing to be a part of, with all work from Carmel kids, which I just think is like amazing.
I don't know is it a credit class?
I don't know. We can find out for you. I don't
Awesome.
think so.
If it is also
I'm not
credits.
Sure. We'll double check.
Yes.
And Miss Merchak is the teacher that runs that.
Yes, Miss Merchak.
So that's who you would contact if you have questions and we're not answering it.
Yeah, she's very good with emails as well. So.
Awesome. Anybody else? We're who wants to talk about a starting point? Go ahead, Camille.
So my freshman year, I took 3 fine arts classes. I took drama UCP, and I did intro to art, and I also joined liturgical for that year. I thought all of those were really good ways to get started because they're all very different. So there's something out there for everybody. Like intro to art, I'd been sketching for like most of my life, but I'd never picked up like a colored pencil. So it really helped me like branch out and face some of my art fears. I was always scared that I would like ruin my artwork because I can't erase if I color it in. But it helped me to like break through some of those fears and make me push myself a little more. Drama UCP was great because I met a lot of people from all different walks of life. There was like a football player in that class. There was like a music kid. Some of my best friends I met in that class. A lot of people who prefer doing crew and aren't really big fans of being on stage are in that class too. It's really for everybody, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good starting point. Liturgical choir is also really fun. You get to be in the mass, like Audrey talked about. It was a great time. There is something out there for everybody, and in every area of fine art, there's just a really good starting point for whatever you want to do. And all different kinds of personalities, different kinds of vibes. There's something for everybody.
That's awesome. So, what advice would you give for people, like have any of you struggled to get what you want into your schedule? And do you have any advice about like how to make that happen? Audrey has strong feelings.
Yeah, so I haven't had a ton of issues, but I've talked to a lot of my friends who have had problems with their counselors saying, oh, you can't take this class. And I think it's a common misconception. There's two issues I've run into. One, counselor saying, get all your required classes done your freshman and your sophomore year, especially your freshman year. And then also there's kind of this like stigma that like you can either take a bunch of AP classes or you can take a fine arts class, and there's no in between. And as for the getting all your required classes done your freshman year, that is a good plan for like some people, but for me personally, I've taken some classes over the summer, which has gotten my gym credit before fine arts classes counted as a gym credit, and my business credit out of the way during the summer, and I'm saving some of my other required classes for my senior year when you're really only required to take 2 classes. And then also the problem, there's a ton of conflicts with AP classes. If you work it out and you are kind to your counselor and you're kind to the registrar, there will be a way. I'm in 5 AP classes, some of them run once a day, and I've been able to coordinate having band during my curricular school day schedule. So if you're nice to the counselors and you're willing to sit down and work things out and maybe take a class you wanted to take your junior year, your senior year, or take business over the summer, there's definitely a way you can fit fine arts into your schedule.
So actually, if you at first you're like, oh no, I'm just gonna stick to my normal schedule, and then when you're done with your first semester, and you're like, wait, I actually want to take advanced choir. I had that situation this past semester, and it was so easy. My teacher, Mrs. Hawk, talked to Miss Gilly for me, and I just went right down to the office, and she saw if it was possible or not, and it worked out. So all I have to say is just communicate what you want to do, and if it works, that's awesome, but just communicate, and she should be able to help you, and your counselors just be like, hey, I really, really want to take this class. Where can I fit it in? And they will help you as much as they can and hopefully get it working for you.
Almost like the opposite of what Audrey said. If you're a person that wants to take a lot of science classes or math classes or a lot of more academic classes like I do, you can fill your day, your actual school day schedule with all those classes, and then you still want to get involved in fine arts. You can look to before school classes like string ensemble, cadence, after school classes as well. So you can still get involved in fine arts, but it doesn't necessarily have to be during the immediate school day. And I think that really just helps to still be involved, to still have a lot of fun, but then also to focus on school and maybe what you want to go into in college or your interest or something like that during the immediate school day. So.
And to be clear, all those things that are offered before and after school are for credit. So.
Yeah. I take string ensemble, and we're before school on A days, and so really, it's really nice because I still get credit for that, and I've never taken an actual fine arts class during the immediate school day, but I still have a lot of fine arts credit.
I've actually done this twice now. I find that when you take a UCP class, just for the credit, I find myself wanting to take the next step up honors. It happened with ceramics. I took UCP last semester and decided midway through the semester I wanted to take honors. So it's always very easy, I feel with fine arts classes, to get them switched out, added onto your schedule or whatnot. Same with stagecraft last year. I took UCP, decided pretty much at the end of the semester, last minute, I wanted to take honors. and they always figure it out. As long as you have all of your other classes, like it doesn't conflict with a lot of stuff, it's usually very easy just to swap out your schedule like that.
Yeah, if you're struggling with getting all your required credits, honors dance classes actually count for your gym credits. So if you're wanting to fit in 2 extra fine arts classes, you can definitely take 2 dance classes that are honors.
Yep, and that's the same for cadence, which is the show choir. We move a lot, and that's why. And also for marching band, because they move a ton, and so that counts as PE credit too. So that's another great way to kind of like sneak in more fine arts credits and get some other things out of the way too. Sorry, go ahead, Camille.
Yeah, so as was like just mentioned, if you need a gym credit, you can use fine arts classes. That was really helpful for me because I hadn't taken, other than liturgical choir freshman year, I hadn't taken a choir class, and I really wanted to do another choir class. So I was worried because I needed gym credit, but I ended up taking cadence, which is also before school. So in case all your during the school day classes are all booked up, cadence is before school, and there's a lot of other classes that meet before and after school too, like Grace said. And that was really awesome for me because I got to do what I wanted and be involved in fine arts and get my gym credit taken care of. But if it doesn't end up working out, there's still a lot of other opportunities after school in the fine arts for you, like the fall play, like this year we did Holes. It's a really fun way to get involved in whatever way you want. You could do stagecraft, there's run crew, you could be in pit for the musical if you like band, or you could be on stage. There's a lot of different ways you can get involved, and it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of difficulties with my schedules over my 4 years here, but your counselors really want to help you. So just sitting down with them, having a conversation about it is the most helpful thing you can do. It's just like the best first step, and it usually works out in the end. They're really helpful.
Sorry, I want to add on to what I was saying, but if you want to dance but you cannot find a way to fit it during your day schedule, there are after-school dance classes. Well, there's Orchesis, which is a dance class. It's an honors credit, and you have to audition to get in. But we also have fall dance team and winter dance team, and fall dance team performs at football games on the sidelines, and winter dance team actually competes with other high schools. And we're doing our sectionals this weekend, so you should all support.
Going off of what Camille said about you could participate in crew, if you don't want to do run crew, we have other options. Like we have costumes, lights, sound, so many different options for crew. So it's not just run crew. I just want to put that in there.
I just forgot what I was going to say.
It's all good. Anybody else?
I don't have much to discuss about schedules, but I do have much to discuss about the mental side of taking a fine arts class.
That's actually my next question. Nice segue, lady.
Awesome.
Thank you. Go ahead, you say what you want to say, and then I'll kind of address it to everyone.
So, I have a really hard time getting into things. I get super anxious and nervous super fast. So it was really hard for me to kind of like build up the courage to like join a fine arts class or club. And I've actually grown to like love the fine arts classes. One, the classes are kind of like a break for me. Like with such a hard day and being so passionate about art, sometimes I get like super worn down. Because I don't feel like I can use like my creativity, but having that break is kind of like not even having a class in that like time, that period. It feels like I'm able to just like release. And another thing is too, like if you're thinking about doing fine arts, but like you tend to overthink things, so you're just like, well, what if I don't want to do a fine arts class? Like maybe this class isn't for me, whatever. Like if you have the initial thought of taking the class, take it. Like the worst possible thing is like transferring out of a class, but fine arts, I'd never like want to do that, honestly. Like they're such good classes to take. Like don't psych yourself out. Like just take it. Like, just take the class. It's a really great time. I've loved all my classes so far. So.
Oh, go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
So I wanted to chime in on the scheduling thing, if that's okay. So like Mrs. Hawk said, there is jazz band that we have, but I also want to talk about how like people perceive fine arts credits or like in like the college scheme of things, because I was in that situation last year, and I was just fighting with myself between if I wanted to take a fine arts class or if I wanted to take a class that I thought at the moment would like look better for a college. But at the end of the day, I like did my research and talked to my counselor, and at the end of the day, colleges value you doing something that you're actually passionate about. So I've been part of band for 4 years, so me making the decision to keep going with band my senior year really helped me show kind of who I am and how much I want to keep participating in band.
That's awesome. And I do think, we've had counselors say to us before that, like, sometimes, like, you're not going to major in whatever your, like, favorite fine arts class is, but it still can be something that you feel passionately about. And like, maybe it becomes a thing that you can write a great essay, a great college essay about. Or, and lots of fine arts students who don't major in it are able to get, like, small scholarships just to, like, play sax in the marching band or to sing tenor or alto or whatever in choir. So there's ways to still do it in college even if it's not going to be your major. That was a great point, though, so thank you for bringing that up.
Can I talk to that for a second?
Yeah.
I'm a big science person. Like, you probably noticed at the beginning, I haven't taken a bunch of fine arts credits, and that's because really my only thing that I'm passionate about in fine arts is playing violin. I've played since grade school. I played all throughout middle school. And then when I got to high school, I thought that, oh, I don't really need to play anymore. Like, I can just focus on robotics and science and engineering. That's what I want to do in my future. But I made the decision to try out string ensemble just to, like, keep that part of violin still alive in my day-to-day schedule. And it's awesome. It just kind of, it helps me even build up my science skills. Like, it helps me work with a team, with people. It helps me collaborate. So, like, even if you're not that into fine arts, you can still find something that you're passionate about and get involved in a different way, and that'll help build on to all your other interests and maybe what you want to do in college, like Ms. Hawk was saying. So.
Awesome, thank you. Go ahead, Gabby, and then I'm going to address a question that we'll wrap up with, like, for everybody. Go ahead.
Just talking about college, so I am already committed and I'm going to a liberal arts college, and I was awarded a $5,000 theater scholarship for every year. So in total, that's $20,000 that I was awarded just for submitting a portfolio of the roles I've played in musicals and plays. And it, I submitted that as well as an art portfolio, but they can only award you one or the other. But I chose, like, in high school, I told myself as a freshman, I was like, I'm not going to give up my happiness to try to overwhelm myself in AP classes. And yeah, and because I was like, that's just not going to make me happy, I want to have time to do things other than homework and to enjoy myself. So, and I'm even taking an AP art class this year, which is super cool. So it's like college level. But yeah, I just told myself freshman year, I was like, I'm not going to give up what I love for a college. If a college wants me, they want me. And, like, they better want me with my art, not without. So, yeah, I never gave up on, and I've taken probably like 50% of my class credits are, like, fine arts throughout my 4 years here. I've taken so many, but they still wanted me, so, like, we're good. Yeah.
So here's my question, and some of you already kind of addressed this, so you can, like, just go quickly or pass, whatever you want. But I guess I feel like a great way to end this is to just ask you, like, what's a way that, forget about grades, forget about, like, anything like, your GPA, whatever, like, what's a way that a fine arts class has just like personally benefited you that you can't like quantify in an A or a 4.0 or 5.0 or whatever, but that just like has meaning to you?
Yeah, well, with me personally, I up until maybe junior year, I didn't really like know what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't have any plans for college or after high school or anything. But then I took my first stagecraft class, and that definitely helped me find myself. And even though it's not necessarily related to what I want to do, I'm going to college to become a mechanic. Because you know, I like working on cars. Like I said, I like working with my hands. But yeah, stagecraft definitely just opened my eyes to like, oh, I really do like working with my hands. I like this hands-on stuff. I like working with tools and, you know, just stuff like that. It helped me. It definitely helped me like find myself, and it actually helped me lay a path of what I want to do with my future.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So I, especially this year with classes and starting to think about college, it's really hard to focus on like the day-to-day basis and obviously being like, oh, big picture, what do I need to do in 2 months? What do I need to do in a year? So I found for me taking things day by day and trying to look forward to things during my day helps me like, get through the school year. And I've made the decision that I every day want to start my day with choir, and most days I end it with band. So knowing that I can wake up and I don't have to jump into school with a calc test or something, I can start with choir. It like gives me a reason to wake up in the morning because I know that there's something I can rely on that'll make me happy. And especially first semester, I was taking like some really hard classes. So having band at the end of the day to just decompress and know that I can start my day off doing something I love and end my day doing something I love. I have something to look forward to each day, and it just like mentally has had such a big impact on my life that I don't think I would be able to keep taking all these classes and be involved in all these things without having a fine arts class to encourage me to get through the day.
So I come from a very musical family. My dad and my sister were both on the stage here at Carmel when they both went here, and all in the music classes. And just this year, I started taking choir classes, and I found that taking those classes really actually brought me closer to like my sister and dad. Like I was close with them already, but that aspect of like what they enjoyed and what I'm learning to like what I like now, that really brought me closer to them, because I could, if I'm having trouble, let's say with like a song in street scenes or in choir or harmony or whatever, I can go home and be like, hey dad, can you help me with this? And he'll bring out like a guitar or something and like sing with me, and my sister should be like, let's do this, breast support, come on, like, and we get to like really work together on it, and it's really fun to see that and feel that. So yeah.
For me, I've made like 2 of my best friends from string ensemble. Waking up at 7 a.m. every morning, you know, it's a bonding experience. But both of them have also done string ensemble all 4 years, and so just spending a bunch of time with them in the mornings and like working on music together and getting a bunch of inside jokes about what pieces we're playing and things like that have just really brought me to like see Carmel as a community. And like in little ways like that, you can make and get to know so many new people. And I think it's just really helpful to like feel supported and just know that I have 2 friends that are gonna talk about violin with me, no matter if it's math class or 7 a.m. in the morning. So
yeah. I've always been, it's been so hard for me my whole life to like conceptualize my emotions into words, or like to tell others how I'm feeling. It's been so difficult, and not even like including the fine arts classes, but just in general, art has been the way for like me to conceptualize how I'm feeling to others, or like especially to myself. I am a very mixed media person, and I love making big colorful things in my sketchbook, whatever, but like it's genuinely just the way that I'm able to be the most authentically myself. Like if I were to pull out my sketchbook, like you'd see me. like that's how you'd see me. And to kind of segue into that, I think it's been so amazing to be able to be a part of fine arts and like even just this panel in general. And I'm really thankful for like Miss Murchek in the graphic design class, because I was able to make the pins and the stickers and the keychains for like my final project in the fine arts class, and it was so nice to be able to like conceptualize like myself into an object and like sell it to others. And like it's fascinating to me to like be able to think about like people bought that, like people may be wearing that around, like they're wearing like a piece of me, and it's just it's so awesome. Like I can't even, I'm struggling now to like put it into words, because like art is the way that I express myself, and I'm most authentically myself. And it's just Carmel, even just like being a freshman and only having like the experience of my first semester, like it's already helped me so immensely to be able to like be me in a sense.
Following that, dance is also very much a way to express your emotions without words. And it's also great exercise. And I have dance first period, A period, so I wake up and start the day moving, and it definitely wakes you up in the morning. It just makes you really feel refreshed throughout the whole day. I've noticed it helps me be able to retain more when I'm learning, and just to be aware in class. But also choreographing in Orchesis after school, we get to make our own dances and put it on our fellow dancers. And it's very satisfying when we get to see our thoughts and just like our emotions put on other people and perform for a crowd, and hearing the cheer of the audience. It's the adrenaline that you get from it is addicting. It's super amazing. And performing in general has really helped boost my confidence in front of other people, because you really throw yourself out there, and you have to be you. You're playing a character. There's just a lot of things that go with dancing, and yeah, it's definitely a great thing to start off the day with.
So I feel like I'm known more in the performing arts side of like fine arts, because I mean I am thespian president, and I am really involved in choir as well, but I have like the same amount of passion for visual art. And you know, we have the exhibition twice a year, so you don't get kind of like the thrill of like the crowd and performing in front of people, but it's like visual art has actually taught me more about myself and more about other people in general. Like this year I am focusing on and like doing kind of a full year study on the human figure and what makes somebody actually human and recognizable as one. And you know, I've done like a ton of research, and I've asked a ton of people like kind of personal questions relating to their humanity, and I feel like people don't realize that you can get like kind of like conceptual like that. And like it's, you know, Miss Coppins always tells me that my problem is that I have too many ideas, even though you can never have too many ideas. But it's like an experiment, you know. It's like the same as chemistry. It's like I'm putting chemicals together and seeing which explode and which don't. And I think that gives me like a thrill, and like finishing a piece and being able to put it up on a wall, even if no one's gonna like pay attention to it, whatever. But it's like there, and you know, I know what I did to get there, and it's like it's kind of fun having like a final object out of all of your hard work. So yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I could say, but I'll try to stick to theater for this one. So I know there's the idea that theater is like separate from yourself because you're playing a character, so how could it be that personal? But really it is like a great vulnerability to put yourself out on the stage and to feel, even if it's feeling what someone other than yourself is feeling, you have to draw from yourself to get to that point, and it can be very personal. And even outside of just performing, you're surrounded by a very close community all the time, and that in and of itself is also a vulnerability. You really are just open with the people around you. It comes kind of naturally because you spend so much time together, but it is a really helpful experience. And it's also affected the way that I choose to live my life. I love improv. It's something I'm really passionate about. And because of improv, I've kind of been inspired to take an attitude of yes and with my daily life. Like instead of turning things down because they seem odd to me or something I wouldn't have thought of, I decide I might just try and go with it and see where it takes me. And going off of that philosophy has given me so many opportunities. I've met so many people that I probably wouldn't have met without that attitude. And some of the most important moments and relationships in my life have come from that idea. And I can truly thank theater for that. I feel like there's not many things that are as intimate between people as the relationships that you can build from theater.
So as I've been listening to everyone talk, I've gotten so many more ideas and so many more things I want to say. But I guess I'll just start with kind of like what Grace was talking about. Like I'm a very STEM-oriented student. Like I want to go to college to be an engineer. But so I don't really express myself artistically that much. I'm always like doing science or math classes where it's just calculations and kind of thinking logically. But band and just fine arts in general has given me the opportunity to express my love for music and express my creativity in an artistic way. So that's been really valuable for me throughout all of high school. Another thing I'd want to say is like Audrey was saying earlier, looking forward to band at the end of the day has just been something that I've loved like all 4 years at Carmel. And even if I wasn't taking it as a class or even if it was just for something small, it was always the highlight of my day just to be part of the community because everyone's really nice. And we're always laughing and joking together during rehearsal, and it's just a really great time. And I really have appreciated that so far. And the last thing I want to talk about is fine arts and band in general helped me to make friends both within fine arts but also outside of it. Starting with in fine arts, I've met some of my lifelong friends in band ever since I was a kid, when I was younger, sorry. I made a lot of friends and a lot of lasting friendships with past alumni. Like I'm still in contact with them just based off of band, and they've just given me really great advice for my life. And also I've made good friends like playing pit for street scenes. I was in band, but I made a lot of friends that were in theater and in choir and stuff like that. So that was really nice. And I also made a lot of friends outside of band because of it. Like people I would never talk to after we performed at like a marching band halftime show, they would come up to me and just be like, the band was great. You guys brought great energy. And it always made me feel like good about myself, and like I made friendships with them because of that. And so just like things like that, like it's hard to put it into a few words, but band and just fine arts in general has done so much for me.
Thank you. I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up, and I just want to thank you guys so much. I'm wowed by your answers and thrilled to know that that you all have found things at this school that have like been really meaningful to you, and I hope that like what you've said today will inspire other people to like take the jump and give something new a try. But thank you so much, and you all deserve lots of cookies. That's a great way to end. Woo!